Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Arcade Football. And we have 5 of us here today. We have 5 people on the podcast. Insane. We have Kyle back with us this week. And we have David, of course.
Just in case it's audio, right?
Hello.
Yeah. And then we have obviously Josh, who was here last week, along with Stuart. It may show as Kate on the podcast, but this is Josh.
It is me, I promise.
We assure you, it is definitely.
Well, if you want to see his face, Deb, check out our was it England squad? You know, because he was on who we're going to pick for our World Cup squad. Because he's on there and he has some interesting opinions on there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unfortunately, he broke his camera though, so. That's so interesting. The opinions were he's not allowed to be on camera again. It's not happening.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, what better place to start than the biggest game of the weekend and probably the biggest statement of the weekend as Arsenal smashed Spurs 4-1 at the Emirates. Who watched the game? I feel it was sensational. Arsenal.
I was
brilliant.
Unfortunately busy with family, but I did see the highlights. But yeah, what a massive, massive win for Arsenal that was. And what a performance by Eberechi Eze as well. Obviously made all the more nice by the fact that both City and Liverpool lost their games. And we'll get to them. And with their game being after those two games, I think it would have put a bit of pressure on Arsenal, especially if City had beaten Newcastle, just to kind of let them know that, we're still in this title race. But the fact that City lost, I think took a little bit of pressure off Arsenal. I did predict Arsenal to win, to thrash Tottenham a couple of weeks ago when I was last on, and they didn't disappoint. And what a great result for them. Huge. Yeah.
No,
I can't remember. I can't remember a North London derby being so anticlimactic is probably the right word, because Arsenal just dominated and it was very sort of like it wasn't even a contest in a lot of ways. Arsenal turned up, Tottenham didn't. I can't remember a North London derby so one-sided before.
There was
there probably has been, but I think back to like the best Arsenal teams in the early 2000s, late 90s. Is there a North London derby there that was this one-sided? I don't know. The Arsenal are just incredible at the moment. And do you know what really bugs me about it? Matt Thorney's going to be right. He's going to be right. I will
as well, Matt. You and I both predicted Arsenal, buddy.
High five. High five.
So 12 games. That's not getting all carried away.
And to be fair, it is Arsenal. If anyone's going to bottle it.
I did say from the start of the season that the thing that's going to win this league is defence, not the goals. Yeah. And I've been proven right so far. So just give me the praise. Look,
well, I mean, you say that.
That's not happening, man. Sorry, we've got no praise to give.
On that note, on the defence, obviously Gabriel's now injured for Arsenal for a while. They're not really saying the time frame from what I've seen. They're just saying he's out for a while. Okay. Do you? I mean, 2 months during the most important part of the season as well, Christmas. It's going to be that's the test for Arsenal, right? You say about defence is going to win the league. By the end of January, we'll know how important his injury is going to be. Really,
I agree with that.
I mean, the next game, I think the next game is going to be interesting as well. Like, 'cause obviously, if I'm not mistaken, has Arsenal got Chelsea next?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, next Sunday.
I mean, So basically, it's like this. Was it Arsenal at 6 points clear, if I remember right? So like, if they win that, they're 9 points. You can sit there and say the point. But if Chelsea win it, it's down to 3, and then we've got a title race on.
Yeah. It does make it very interesting. I mean, I think that, and I've been saying these praise for so long now, Eberechi Eze is the player that Arsenal have needed for the last 3 seasons. A player that will win you the big games, who will just come out and get the big goals in these sort of games. He was unbelievable, I thought, against
you know what, Bound? You say that. I have one of my closest friends here in Bournemouth is a massive Arsenal fan, and he actually sent me. I promise you. I'll read you the text that he sent. It's Eze's been so poor since he's come to Arsenal. He's lazy. He's lazy. He doesn't work hard enough. He's not doing enough. Literally a minute later, he scored. Literally a minute later.
The thing is that I like. He's one of these players that he can. He can have that sort of game though. He can he can go 20 minutes, not do anything, and then he'll score the important goal. He's a big game player.
He's a luxury player. It's probably the right word.
Exactly, yes.
And the thing is as well, but we've got to remember about Eze, Odegaard seems to be picking up more injuries, and this is going back to last season as well. So actually, Arsenal needed someone to come in and be that creative hub. When Odegaard, he's a different sort of player to Odegaard. Like I think he's got more goals than him for one. But I think he's been fantastic, to be honest. I mean, every goal he scored yesterday was a great goal as well.
Yeah, really.
He took them so well. But I think going back to the game really quickly, Spurs were awful. Let's be honest, Spurs are absolutely terrible. I thought that they're far too negative for me, and they were against Chelsea actually as well. Reminded me of what we did against Chelsea. They're just so negative. They really were. It was an easy. I'll be honest, good win for Arsenal. They thoroughly deserved it, but it was an easy game for Arsenal. They didn't even have to get out of second gear.
Yeah,
I think Spurs gifted them that game on the play. As soon as the first goal went in, you knew Arsenal were going to win the game. It was just obvious.
So Arsenal fans will be saying to Tottenham something along the lines of mind the gap right now, right? I think Tottenham need to be more worried about the gap between their defence and their midfield, because Eze had like genuinely the space of North London. I don't understand how a player can score 2 goals and have no one marking him. It's just the simple things. And Tottenham are, when they're good, they are a good team. But when they're bad, they're woeful. There's no in between at the minute. It's really bad. They're not a team that are going to get sort of loads of 6, 7 ratings out of 10. They're a team that are going to be a 3 or a 10. It's no in between at the minute.
Similar to last season under Ange. I mean, they weren't a team that got very many draws. It was either they would lose or they'd win. And very inconsistent. I think there is still a lot of goodwill for Thomas Frank in the bank, given how this kind of strong start they had to the season. But yeah, things do need to improve. That goal from Richarlison was arguably the best goal of the game, though. I must say, I mean, there's nothing quite like a 45-yard chip, over the. I thought that was great.
Richarlison, David Bentley. It's a very small club, but it's the two of them, and that's it.
Yeah. It reminded me of that. Was it fourth goal for Scott? Was it in that 4-2 win for Scotland? Like, what was the better chip?
Yeah.
Was it with Violation or that one?
I would say
Richarlison's. The way Richarlison just looped directly.
It was just pitch perfect. It was just the way, perfectly curled into the corner. Where it's just the keeper can do nothing. It's beautiful, but then that was the best it got for Tottenham. So,
but I think that the biggest test, I think, Carl's hit the nail on the head. I think the biggest test is these next 2 months with Gabriel out. I think that this will prove to us whether Arsenal have enough to be in the be the favourites after January, or if they might slip up.
I mean, just looking at the fixtures, right? They've got. I mean, the next week's hugely important. Bayern in the Champions League, Chelsea away. They've got Villa away coming up, which Villa are very good at home usually. Everton away is not going to be easy with the way they're playing. Bournemouth away, Liverpool they've got to play at home in that fixture list. Man United have got to come to the Emirates in that fixture list, all before Gabriel probably comes back. And he'll probably come back a similar time to sort of 2 weeks before the next North London derby. He's missing a massive chunk of the season, really. To get a 2-month injury in November, you miss the middle part of the season. And we saw last year when they had a few injuries, it did affect them. It did affect them, Arsenal, massively. So I don't think the title race is over. I'll say this much. I don't think Arsenal are going to run away with it. I wouldn't rule out Liverpool. I wouldn't rule out City. In a way, Arsenal have been the better team of the season so far, but it's still very early.
I think it's about who comes in for the replacements for the injuries. I mean, earlier on in the season, Saka was injured. Madueke came in and did a bloody good job in replacing him.
And Mosquera's been all right, right?
Well, not too bad.
Yeah, been all right, but
exactly, yeah. Do you reckon they could almost employ a sort of Liverpool 13-14 tactic, whereby let's concede some, but let's just blow the other teams away, just make sure we score more goals at them?
I actually think that the importance of Zubimendi will prove the difference in these next couple of months, because where he's so defensive, I've got a feeling that in these games what you'll see happen is Zubimendi will drop back maybe a little bit more into that defensive line if he needs to, allowing Rice to still go forward. And Zubimendi just drops into that back line a little bit more, just about that add that little bit more security that Gabriel would already bring.
Yeah, they do also have what sounds like a bonkers option. You say about Zubimendi dropping in. Declan Rice has played centre back before. If it got really bad,
he started off there, didn't he?
Started off as a centre back, and actually, he'd still do a good job there because he's physical. He's good in the air. He's good in the tackle. He's good at intercepting. I'm not saying it's his best position.
I mean,
but it's an option rather than a 17-year-old that's never played. If it came to it,
yeah, but if he was doing that, wouldn't that be like would Arsenal have to have like the kind of injuries that Chelsea have got in their defence?
Yes.
We're talking about eighth choice.
Yeah,
no defenders available.
I'm not catastrophizing. They have one injury at the moment. That's it.
Yeah. I do think though that like I would be surprised to see someone like Calafiori moved into the middle, and then Lewis Skelly start getting a few more games over these next few months.
I mean, you've also got Ben White, right? Ben White's still in the squad, and he can play centre back, right? So they have options.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is true.
Doesn't Calafiori play centre back for Italy sometimes? I think he does, doesn't he?
I bet he does.
Yeah. So he's more than capable of playing that. Timber can play centre back as well. So I think Timber, to be honest, I think Arsenal's defence is the least of their worries. They're fantastic, even without Gabriel. I think Kintapi was great yesterday. By the way, I thought he looked really solid. I think Arsenal are heavy favourites. I think they're better this year than they have been the last 2 or 3 years as well. I think if we look at the rivals, Chelsea, great going forward. I don't think the centre backs are good enough. I think that's my worry with Chelsea. As much as I love us to win it, I just don't see it. I think I still think their main title rivals will be City. I don't think City are as good as they have been, but I think their main rivals will be City.
Okay.
Let's talk about Chelsea, because I don't actually disagree with what you said there. I don't think the squad is strong enough to win the league, but at the same time, nobody wants to play Chelsea. Chelsea can beat anybody.
We said this at the start of the season.
That's the problem.
We said this at the start of the season. This is the team who's going to be like you said there. No one wants to face them. And the thing I love with Chelsea at the minute, and I watched the game on Saturday. Throughout the game, at no point did I look and think, oh my God, we're going to do something stupid here or something like that. We kept it simple. We hit it long when we needed to. We done none of this dribbling out the back, which I know some players are good at, and I know it seems to be the trend of today's game. But instead, we're hitting the ball forward and allowing our players who are good at winning the ball to go and win the ball again, which I personally think is a lot better. I think if Chelsea are to maintain the title challenge, if they were at all, we have to be firing through our strikers, and I don't see it. I just don't see it.
This is kind of my point. I actually think for Chelsea, the worst thing that can happen is for the fans to get in their head of, we're going to win the league, we can win the league, we're going to win the league, because this is year 2 of the project. And you've got Liam Delap, for example, up there, who's not going to bang you in 18, 19 goals in the Premier League this year. But in 2 years, maybe, he might be that guy. Do you know what I mean? It's not a squad that's set up to win the league this year. It's a squad that's set up to break into the top 4 this year. Yep. That was the aim.
It'd be a lot more difficult for fans to do that, especially if Chelsea managed to beat Arsenal next week at Stamford Bridge.
I mean, yeah.
Then to 3 points. Especially if City Liverpool drop points again.
One thing I'll say about Chelsea, I actually think one of Chelsea's, in fact, our biggest asset is Maresca. I've said this on the group chat. I don't think Maresca gets the credit he deserves, by the way. I think he's a brilliant manager.
That's exactly my point now, because Chelsea fans will now go, we should be winning the league. Look, we can do this. We can win the league. Maresca's a failure because he hasn't won us the league, and Arsenal have won the league. So that's what happens at the end of the season. Maresca's overachieved by finishing 2nd or 3rd this year.
I agree. I mean, Maresca, let's have it right. He's got top 4 last year. We haven't done that since the Americans took over. We won 2 trophies. Okay, Conference League, we expect to win. No worry, I get that completely. No one expects us to win the Club World Cup against PSG.
Biggest trophy in the world.
Biggest trophy in the world. And this year, despite the fact we've had, 2 weeks pre-season? We've had, numerous injuries. We're now, competing for the title, won 9 of our last 12 games. Palmer's been out most of the season. Colville's been out all season. I think he does not get the credit he deserves.
And considering as well, Josh, that the last season, I don't think a lot of people will have expected Chelsea to finish in the top 4 last season either, considering the start of the season that they had as well.
We were very lucky to get in.
Yeah.
When we lost to Newcastle, when Jackson got sent, I thought we were done. I really did. I didn't expect it at all, but we did. I think Chelsea will definitely be top 4. I think win the title, not this season. I agree with Kyle. I don't think we're quite ready yet.
No. I think though my biggest concern for Chelsea is, like I say, the goals, but also we are going to come across a game this season where our backs are going to be up against the wall. Like we may score the odd goal. It may come again in a game against, I don't know, Aston Villa, for example. We score a goal early on. No, but I'm saying, for example, we score a goal early on. Aston Villa dominate the rest of the game, and we have to hold on. I
got unlucky against
happen.
United as well when you got the red card in the first half against United. That was a fairly close first half. You know, I think it ended 1-0. You know, that could have gone either way.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's going to be our downfall. I think when we put under the pressure all game, I don't think we're going to be able to cope with that.
My biggest worry for Chelsea games is, that the sort of games against Sunderland, a team where it comes to the bridge, plays a low block. There's no coincidence that our away form is a lot better than our home form. Because, when we go away, teams are going to come at us because they're playing at home. I mean, Chelsea at the bridge, at Palace, for example, Sunderland, another game we struggled in this season at home as well. It's just when we're at that low block, breaking those teams down. I also have some concerns I'm not concerned about Pedro. I think we know the level of Pedro. He's not an elite player, but he's a very good player. Delap for me is a slight concern. His decision making just isn't there yet. He's a handful. We saw that on Saturday. He's not going to get the goals we need. So if Pedro gets injured, I'm concerned about where the goals coming from up front. I just don't.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
No, fairs. I think our strongest position is definitely midfield. Like midfield is like if Palmer I hope Palmer comes back in soon. If not, I'd even consider playing Esteval in that midfield and see what he can do in that midfield. But I think our depth in the midfield is the best it's been in a very long time.
I agree.
I mean, it should be. You bought everyone.
Well, yeah, exactly. We have bought
20,000 midfielders. Yeah. Like you basically bought basically the entire league.
Breeding factory.
Look, 3 of them will be all right. Like,
look, it'll eventually filter down. You'll be thanking us, okay? Just saying.
The arrogance of the filter down, by the way.
Chelsea? Was it Chelsea fan arrogant? No.
But I think Burnley, if you could point out one thing from the game that I do worry about for them, that creative spark, it wasn't there at all in that game. I didn't think. I mean, Chelsea done well defensively, but I think there were points where we looked vulnerable, and Burnley don't look like they've got that player that's going to thread a ball through and just leave a player to run on.
It's the goals again, isn't it? Because obviously we were saying at the start of the season, we were thinking, where's the goals going to come from? And obviously, the first couple of games of they've they got a couple of wins, and everyone was like, okay, but. So similar, obviously, if you talk about Leeds, the same thing. It's like they started off all okay, but then now, as you always know, when at 10, 12 games...
The teams below them are starting to improve. They're getting better, so they're coming back at them.
Yeah.
Is anyone really surprised by Burnley at the minute? Because, I mean, you could swap the name Burnley for Fulham or Bournemouth in the sense of this is a Scott Parker team that have just come up. And he's doing the same thing again. They have some good results now and again. They've got some decent players, but they haven't got a spine of a team that's going to get consistency. And they are not going to get enough goals. And then it gets to January, they're going to have 3 or 4 panic buys, and they're going to go down.
I think it's 2 things.
We've seen it before.
There's 2 things I'd add to that, Kyle, about Burnley. First of all, they should call the police on Chelsea because we've robbed them blind for Brozier. I mean, whoever negotiated that deal deserves a pay rise because he's average, let's be honest, and he's always injured. He's never ever fit. And secondly, he's never fit, is he ever? And the second thing I'll say about Parker, he's for me, he's like the modern day Neil Warnock. Like if you want to a manager to get you up to the championship,
I don't know.
He'll give it.
Why am I offended for Neil Warnock?
You pulled the face like he was your brother. Like,
I feel now the argument now because he's good in the Championship and he's good in Football League, but when it comes to the Prem, he's absolutely rubbish. Yeah. But again, the problem with
go on.
So Burnley, it was always the defence that we were thinking, okay, if they can get their defence hard to beat, they can get on. But then obviously that seems to be unravelling quite early on. So the defense is gone that got them up, and obviously we knew they were going to struggle to score. It's kind of unless something changes on both fronts, they're going to. They're pretty sure they're going to go down.
Put it this way, the loss of Trafford is really evident. The longer this season goes on, it's really evident that it was a bad move on both regards. Well,
I'm surprised they didn't try to. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs, but I'm surprised they didn't try to push for that because obviously at the moment, obviously we talked about that with this he thought he was going to get a chance to sit in and obviously get one of the best goalkeepers in Europe in Donnarumma, and then
would you try and get back on? Would you try and get him back on loan in January?
I'm sure Burnley will try to, but there's no way Trafford's coming to relegation threaten Burnley when Newcastle won it.
But then why
get a game
season? This is the thing. Why sit on the bench at the same time?
No, I get your point, but I'm not sure Trafford makes a difference to this Burnley team. If I'm honest, they leak goals, they don't score goals. They're a bit weak in the tackle at times, and they seem to. I don't know. It's a Scott Parker team. And Scott Parker is not a Premier League manager. I said it on the prediction show. He's not a Premier League manager. He's just not.
He just surprised us a little bit at the start of the season because they actually won 1 or 2 games, and we were like, could he be different? Then and
reality check.
And then it's just like, oh wait, we forgot this is Scott Parker's side, so of course it's going to end badly. So.
The other one as well that we haven't with Burnley, if they lost Josh Brown here as their captain, I think he got 15 goals last season. So that's probably been a bit of a loss for them as well. Because I think I remember watching a couple of games last year, and he was very influential. So that could be a miss as well. I guess they got Ugo Chukwu for us to replace him.
But this is the thing; they do have a couple of decent players. Ugo Chukwu is one of them. I would put
Anthony's not bad.
Jadon Anthony is a decent player.
Yeah,
Walker's got tons of Premier League experience, and he's still decent enough.
Yeah,
Carl Walker's done all right for him. He's done all right for him so far. Oh, you're sorry. I knew that.
He's done all right's the right term, right? But I think they expected Carl Walker to be the guy that changes the season for them, and that's not. It's not happening.
I did. He
wanted him to be their Granit Xhaka.
Yeah. That's a very good example.
Very good way of putting it. Yeah.
On the subject of bad football teams right now, should we talk about Anfield and Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, he's going to walk into that.
I'm going to put this straight out there. Liverpool are out of the title race completely. They are gone.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
I'm saying it now. I'm saying now. Liverpool are out of this title race.
Oh no, you can't say they're out of it.
I don't.
It's November.
It's very unlikely.
Villa are out of it. They're not going to win it, but
it's very unlikely. Very unlikely, but yeah.
The problem is that they've lost too many games. They're going to demand too much from themselves at this stage already, and hope that too many teams slip up. There's too much to count upon with other teams, and as well, the biggest problem when I was watching the game on. Between them and Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest did do well in that game. They actually done pretty well defensively. I thought they were outstanding at times. But if there's one thing I've noticed, then it is this. Salah and Isak cannot play in the same team. They cannot. How do you play them both?
I think Isak in particular is really struggling. And I'd imagine it's a psychological price tag thing because he looks a shadow of himself. He just doesn't look confident. He's not making runs that he'd make. He's not pressing. His control's poor. His finishing's poor. It's
not getting the service. Like I literally you can see it with I think when I was watching the game. It was like he was so desperate to get the ball. He had to drift left. Like on the wide areas, just to get the ball because he wasn't getting any service. I think that's the situation at the moment. It's just like he's just not in the right positions, and he's just doesn't know where to be at the moment. And there was times in that performance at the weekend. It was like, again, it's like for a team you would think that's played a couple of good chunk of games this season, they would have thought they would have kind of figured it out. Like like a team that, like they look a bit like you saw it when they had the ball in the final third, like. They're like, instead of they looked a bit like, oh, what do we do? And then kind of the extra step, the extra part, the extra touch they took, obviously gave Nottingham Forest we're like, oh, okay, that's easy for us. They just made it too easy, and it's just like no options. It's just at the moment, it's just you would have thought it would be at least clicking a bit. And the only time we've looked amazing this season is when we've played the team that won the league last year, and then it's kind of worked. Then we put the new signings in. again, it's the same problem. Like, yeah, it's like was it Sloboslai shouldn't be playing right back? What was it? Kurt was it Gakpo or what was it? And Kirkez on that. That just doesn't work. Just everything just seems like all over the place, and
it doesn't feel like a tactical thing though, does it? Because it's not like Slots changed the game plan. He's just it's a personnel thing at times. But the personnel are just not. They're just not the same players this year. I do want to bring up, because a lot of people are going Diogo Jota of it all, and yes, I'm sure it's made an impact on a lot of the players. But at this stage in the season, the players kind of have to hold their hands up and say, look, we're just not performing. You can't. To me, you can't. It feels.
He was top of the league after 6 games. I don't know how much.
I don't think it's the players that are coming out.
It feels cheap to blame Diogo Jota's death to me on Liverpool's bad form, or the other way around. You get my point.
It's one factor.
They won their first 5 games.
It's one factor.
It's one factor, but I think that the problem is the more you watch these games where Liverpool are struggling, the more you're actually seeing what some of the problems are.
It was like, too much change. It's too much change. Like, I think what our problem was basically like we bought all these players, and normally how we used to do it is used to like gradually bed them in. But we kind of base it. Oh, maybe it's because of how much we spent, all that stuff. We've got to play them all, and then it kind of didn't work. And then So
you
that's
got to think like Gravenberch, when he was a Klopp signing, and he never actually brought him in like fully. He brought him in on occasions off the bench, and then it was Slot that actually brought him in fully. He's probably the one player that under Slot's reign he has brought the best out of by a country mile out of all of them. But with Salah last season, he was unplayable. We was even sitting there saying he's up there with like the likes of Thierry and Henry, how he's playing last season. But again, that's a player that looks like he's a shadow of himself. He was probably the best player attacking wise against Nottingham Forest, because he did create some chances.
He looked quite bright at the first half at least. It looked like he was trying to create something. But
where's a question for you, Stu? And I'm going to put this to you. What player do you think should be given the license more, Isak or Salah?
I mean, obviously your first option would be to give it to Salah, but with Isak, you can always sit there and say that with the price tag, and also that we've bought him for a couple of years, like we've bought him for the future, you would think that we would maybe build a team around him, you would say, because obviously, again, Mo Salah's got another year or so. He'll be off.
In my opinion, this is Salah's last season.
Yeah.
So you've got to build for the future. I just wanted to bring up what Matt just said about Klopp, right? Do you think it's fair to say that the team that won the league last year was Jurgen Klopp's team, and this is the first Arne Slot's team?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think that the introduction of Gravenberch into that midfield was a humongous difference for one. The introduction of him allowed Salah to then roam free and be as dominant as he was last season as well. I think that Liverpool made a huge mistake in the summer by going, oh my God, this guy can win us a league. What more can he do if we just give him everything? Which, yes, okay, I get. But not only did you give him everything, you bought 2 of the most expensive signings in Premier League history in Florian Wirtz and Isak, like in one summer.
I mean, if you got that was
insane. And you also put Van Dijk and Salah on huge new bumper deals as well, you know. So.
Yeah.
I think what's more fascinating is the idea that basically, I think when we got Hugo Ekitike, that obviously out of all the signings is the one that looks like should be starting every game, to be fair. Yeah, he's been amazing. Even when he came on in the second half, it's just like looks so much better when he's in the team. Like it's just so good. But it's just
I do think they'll come good though. I do think this team will come good. I think Florian Wirtz will come good, and we will be saying in 2 years' time that Florian Wirtz is top 3 players in the Premier League.
We didn't buy him for one season. We bought him for the 5, like with the guys. I know it's like how amazing he is. We all forget it's like 22. Like he's still quite young in the football terms,
and came from a league that's totally different to the Premier League.
Yeah,
well.
I mean, he's been all right. Like I get the price tag, everyone expecting him to be like. Champions League, obviously, he's been his best performance has been in the Champions League, but I think it's more of a situation, the price tag, and everyone expects him to like turn up and just like destroy the league. But then that's not how football works sometimes. And when you actually watch the games and actually watch when he plays, well, I think that when he's played on that left hand side, he's looked his best. Where Gakpo was playing, he's just been like he does. Some of the passing's been quite good. And it's just he just doesn't do it enough, and obviously he does get pushed off the ball a lot as well. Like obviously he's got to get used to that. But if he can get that sorted, there is a player there. I just think people, again, as we said earlier on when we were doing all right, it's like you need something, but it's not an individual thing. I don't think it's like blame him. It's just a situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of petty when people do that. That bloody 007 stuff. I think that's really petty.
It's the easiest person to point out, isn't it?
Yeah,
no, it's good. It's like he was
definitely the scapegoat.
Yeah, no, it's like either it's Mo Salah's not doing well, so blame him. Either you could put Wirtz not performing, but there's not much you could do when he can't pass on the ball, so he's got to try and go deeper, and so he's not playing at his best. Or like what was it? Was it the goal? Was it even they were going after the goalkeeper? The one that when Alisson was out, I was like, well, I thought he'd done all right, but apparently just everyone needs a scapegoat. Yeah. It's like it was.
But he did better than Alisson's doing now. So
there's one thing as well about Liverpool.
No mistakes. Come on.
If you look at Liverpool's front line, so the Klopp teams, for example, ran last season as well. The Liverpool front line not just scored a load of goals between them, especially Salah, of course. They pressed like animals. They were so aggressive off the ball. So what's happened in the summer? Diaz, who I think is a huge miss, by the way.
Yeah,
he wanted to leave though.
He did, but not just. He's still got to replace him properly, I guess. And he's not just his goals and assists. He pressed like an animal. He was so quick. Yeah. And actually, as much as people criticise Núñez, and I was one of them because he missed too many chances. Again, he used to press like so hard off the ball. And the players at Liverpool have signed. Okay, Wirtz and Isak might very well come good. I think Isak definitely will. But they're not players that press from the front. And I noticed when Chelsea played them a few weeks ago, our defence and midfield just played through Liverpool so easily. And I can't remember the last time we did that. Usually you have to work so hard to beat Liverpool's press. It was easy because no one was pressing off the ball.
I think for me it's a situation of obviously with the decision to play Szoboszlai on that right back. When he plays in that advanced attacking midfielder role, that's when our press works because obviously he's obviously by far probably say the best player we have Liverpool players of even when we were playing terribly, you can always look at Szoboszlai's performance and say, well, he's been absolutely runs that he does the hard work, does it when he plays in that position, we press better, we play better. So the decision to put him on the right back and not play him there probably looks why we looked a bit disjointed because when he's in that position he gets his ticking, but because obviously you're talking about like he's an animal pressing. He's the same. He's that guy. He's like, it's ironic because last season we were criticising him for not being that creative enough, and basically his off the ball work's great. But now over this season, it's like, well, he's like praising his off the ball work, but then he's still creating stuff as well. So it's like he's not under the radar this season because obviously people do have given him praise. But I think when he plays there, and then maybe if you want to put Wirtz on the left, I think that'll work the best position for both of them.
That's concerning to me because Liverpool have got the best squad depth on paper anyway. So it's concerning to me that you say taking Dominic Szoboszlai out of the centre of midfield unravels this Liverpool team when you've got people like McAllister who should be able to fill that role. That's the bigger problem for me. The individuals aren't performing.
Yeah, I'd agree and disagree with that because I think that it's the like there's so many managers that do over the years playing players out of position. Like it makes a ripple effect across the rest of the team because then they've got to make up for them. So I think some players they can do it, but other players you're asking too much of them. I think as a result as well.
Yeah, but if we were talking Liverpool are sat sort of 3 points off Arsenal, they're not really clicking, but they're getting some results, but they're not clicking. I'd get your point. That they're in 11th. It's not just Szoboszlai out of the midfield that's made it unravel. There's loads of things going wrong at Liverpool. And actually, to be fair, I sit and watch Liverpool and I go, I can't figure out what's going wrong. It should work. He's setting the team up exactly how everybody else would set the team up. Yes. It should work. It's just not.
What's so funny is that they won the first 5 games of the season. And you think, and I mean, they were dodgy wins. I mean, they were just about getting over the line in those games. But you think, like, I guess what's changed is that they're just
This is what I was confused about, because it's like, because I was going to say, watching, except for obviously this performance, I think this is the worst of the season so far. I just think weren't creating barely anything. We never tested Nottingham Forest, to be honest.
I actually disagree. I actually disagree with that, because I think that Nottingham Forest I'd even go as far as to say were brilliant in that game. Like they showed characteristics of, like Nuno. I think that those characteristics came through. And is it Morello, the centre back? I think he leads that back line so well in like the structure, how they got everything moving. Like Gakpo plays some brilliant balls into the box, and they just dealt with them so well. So yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Liverpool didn't play well, but I think they've definitely had worse performances this season.
Maybe it's just because matches I think I've seen. It's like I've got kind of go in a way. It's like you're just watching the game, and then obviously when you go online, everyone's like flipping out, because that's what online Discord is these days. But then I always see it, and I'm like, are you watching this game? It's like we're playing all right. We're just not playing great. Like I think it was like we're good. They said at the moment the situation is we're a good team that just apparently haven't got the ability to be consistent at the moment. Yeah, that's concerning.
What would concern me if I was a Liverpool fan is it feels like you've got the look of and not as in look, as in bad luck of a relegation threatened team, when everything just seems to go against you, and you don't get the right bounce of the ball, and you have a goal disallowed that maybe should have been given, and then the following week a goal goes in against you that maybe should have been disallowed if it's the same rule.
But then,
do you know what I mean?
Early on the season we'll be getting the opposite, right? Like, because obviously there's some, it's I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know. It's I think I keep bringing up I call it the Man City situation, because obviously like it does have the hallmarks of basically they were like terrible for a long time for like the start of the last season, and then all of a sudden with maybe a couple of good signings in January, and kind of they figured out the solution. Obviously I don't want to wait until then to find the solution.
I don't think Liverpool buy anyone in January.
No, I've seen some people saying
if they buy someone in January, it's like,
well, no, surely not.
I don't think new arrivals is the answer. It's giving them time is the answer.
I think that's what they're going to do though, because obviously from rumors they got I think we still need one or two. I think and it's not very Liverpool, I know, because obviously we usually in January we just kind of. But this is a unique situation, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, we say this, and then we've got Champions League again. Like we might play it before there, and then obviously we've got West Ham. That obviously they look a bit of form, but we could get a good win there.
Well, that could go anyway, I think.
I know. Actually, I'm not looking forward to that one, to be fair, because I have seen West Ham beat us a couple of times over the years. So it's that.
Last thing on Liverpool, because I think we're gonna.
Definitely.
Right. All I'm gonna say is, because I don't know how many times I've done this podcast, but I still think Liverpool are going to win the league. And I'm throwing this out there now.
No chance.
I still think they're going to win the league. I think they're going to hit a run of form. They're going to get 1 or 2 wins together, and they're going to go on a run, right? Once it clicks with this Liverpool team, it will click, and they will be unstoppable.
The annoying thing is that I don't 100% disagree. I just don't see how Liverpool can get up ahead of steam now with just how bad they're playing at the moment. But I think if they
but they're only 11 points behind. They're only 11 points behind. All it takes is Arsenal to lose 2 games they shouldn't lose.
Yeah,
and it's back on.
Yeah, and I think Arsenal do have it in them to panic.
The season
can catch up with them,
and also the season. I mean, obviously. This is more like wishful thing, because I would love. I mean, there was a reason why. I like Kyle. He comes up with good opinions there, because I 100% agree with that. I'm joking, obviously, but like, yeah. But no, I mean, I get it. I get it. There is a possibility that all of a sudden it would just click. I get that, right? But at the moment, I think any title talk is. At the moment, Liverpool. I mean, me personally, I think it was like watching Liverpool at the moment is kind of hard, especially when you have to watch the game back. You like, it's like you got to, when you're playing, when you're not winning, you've overanalyzed way too much. I kind of just want to watch Liverpool and be happy to watch them play good football again.
Yeah.
Get that first, and then hopefully results. You never know. It could happen, but until I actually see actual evidence of it, I'm not going to be.
Though, right? We forget that the only team that's really stopped Arsenal this season are Liverpool.
True, but they were in form.
But I'm
Just,
saying you talk about points,
yeah.
you talk about titles. That's plus 3 points to Liverpool.
Yeah, but Nottingham Forest beat Liverpool last season.
I know. I'm just saying. I wouldn't be surprised.
You can
bring this clip back. You can bring this clip back later.
Whatever you guys are
Liverpool
drinking, I want
10th.
some because you're delusional.
But
yeah, I really don't see that.
And by the way, Pep Guardiola and City, yes, they lost to Newcastle the weekend. They're going, don't let us just sit in the background and just play our football.
City should not be ruled out. Forget Liverpool.
Yes, you can't rule City out. I think that is it a blip? Yes, I would say that was a blip against them. I think that
and they need players to help Haaland out as well in terms of
They
goals.
didn't play bad though, did they, in that game? Like he wasn't.
Also, by the way, Newcastle are a very good team.
Yeah, they are.
Especially at St James's Park.
I predicted a draw.
Yeah.
Any other results we want to talk about?
I do actually want to mention a team that I actually think done very well yesterday, and that is Aston Villa. I actually think the result against Leeds was a real statement of character. And I'll tell you what, would it be fair to say, and I'm so glad Carl's actually on the podcast for this one, is it fair to say that Morgan Rogers is your key man this season?
No.
Why? What makes
and
you
the reason
say that?
I say that is, so Morgan Rogers was great yesterday, got a couple of goals, and he's starting to come back into form. But for the
free kick, by the way.
What a free kick! But how is it not being saved? How is that?
Yeah, I was going to say this. I'm not a huge fan of the free kick because he's fired it at the centre of goal.
The centre of the goal.
It's not as good as you think, really.
Yeah,
it's because of the technique, isn't it? Because it looks like it's done like amazing, but then it's like the goalkeeper's like, oh wait, it's gone in.
Yeah, go on, Carl. Sorry.
So, the reason I say is you talk about key players, and it's similar to what Stu's saying about Szoboszlai. Really, you take Rodgers out of that Villa team, it kind of still clicks the same way. He's very creative, but he's not the key cog. And then I look at someone like Boubacar Kamara is one of them. Konsa is another one. I'd also, and any Villa fans listen to this, half will hate it, half will love it. Pau Torres I would throw in there, right? He's got such a divided fan base. It's really weird. But everyone else goes, we should have Tyrone Mings in there. But Tyrone Mings does not pass like Pau Torres. Yeah. And you need that defender in Emery's system to be playing out from the back, to find the gaps in the midfield, to find a Tielemans. Rodgers is a very good player, and I think he's growing more and more influential. But I just don't. He's not the game changer. And there are a lot of times. Even yesterday, yes, he got 2 goals, but then you look at his play around it, he can go quiet. He's still very young, and 2 years ago he was 2.5 years ago he was playing in the Championship. He's still very young, so I wouldn't necessarily say that. I personally, and I realised this yesterday. I can't remember the last time Villa consistently played well. We're in a good run of form. Result. No, but in terms of performance, even that game yesterday against Leeds are a shocking football team. Let's be honest, in the Premier League right now. Yeah. Leeds, and if you put the two sides on paper, Villa should beat them 3-4-0. But we went 1-0 down, sloppy defending. We looked disjointed in the first half. Leeds arguably looked better at times. We grew into the game. We were clinical, great, and that's what you want from a good football team. But I don't remember the last time for 4 or 5 games in a row, we were the better team all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Where was that at the beginning of the season, Kyle, do you think? I mean, because that was a dreadful start for Emery and Villa.
But they weren't conceding many.
Bang under
they weren't conceding, were they? That was the...
I think it was a number of things. There was a tactical issue. I'll be honest. There was a tactical issue. Emery made some changes that didn't quite click, and he clicked it back basically to what we were doing before. But also, I don't think the start was as bad as people are making out. And it felt awful at the time. It felt awful. No, don't get me wrong. It felt awful. Yeah. And the Palace game in particular was a low point. But you look at the results, And actually, I've got this up. I had the table up in front of me. Obviously, Villa, everyone apart from United and Everton at this point recording have played 12 games,
top
right?
4.
Villa have only lost 2 games. We were drawing too many games. That was the problem. We weren't clinical enough to win the games.
Positions, I think, as well. Sure.
But it was made out to be that we were Wolves. Do you know what I mean? We were losing left, right, and centre.
Because of the goal scoring, wasn't it? It's because you weren't scoring goals. If it was like you were scoring goals and you were dropping points, it was like that. Then you were sitting there, be going, okay, but I get the point there. It's like, it's like you just want because of the wasn't scoring for the first couple of games, like no goals at all. That's what made it look kind of worse. But if they start scoring, then maybe it would have been just a slow start and then work way up. But I mean, it was kind of
this is what I'm saying. So like, Ollie Watkins has gone off the boil completely, and it's a difficult one with him. But as I say, we've only actually lost in all competitions. I'm just checking it now. In all competitions, we've only lost 2 games this season. Which is bonkers when you think of the starts we had. And one of them was at Anfield to Liverpool, which you'd go, fair enough. At the start of the season, you'd have gone, fair enough.
Yeah.
The Palace game was a low point, especially a week later when we lost in the Cup to Brentford on penalties, which technically isn't a loss, but it's just too many draws. But then you look at the draws and you go, Sunderland away, 1-1. With the way Sunderland have started the season, it's not a bad result.
Draw, I think I said it on the last week. Draws are underrated. Liverpool this season, they've won 6, they've lost 6.
No.
Get more draws,
No, I would love a draw. I would love to see a draw. When was the last time you said you're going last minute draw, was it equaliser and you get a point? I'm like, I just want that. I don't want the one side. Either we play good enough to win, or we play absolutely so bad that you just get absolutely destroyed. Like, can we just have like one where we just do enough to get a point? I'll take that. But I agree with you there. It's like
one thing I want to ask you, Kyle, in particular, Unai Emery, the job that goes to think where you were before we took over. I think you were 18th when Gerrard got sacked, weren't you? Where does he rank among the Premier League's best managers? Could he have a case for being the best manager in the? I think he's absolute quality, and what he's done for Villa is unbelievable.
It's a vex. You know what?
He doesn't want to say it, does he? He doesn't want to say it.
You've got to put Pep up there at top, in my opinion. Yeah. We're saying current Premier League managers.
Yeah, current Premier League managers. I think he's absolutely top.
I'm going to rile the Arsenal.
He's definitely top 4, I would say.
Oh, easy.
I think he's 2. Personally, okay. Because and the reason I say this. So Slot had a great year.
What about Slot?
Slot had a great year last year.
Slot's a fraud.
Really can't make an argument for that at the moment, can I?
Well, no, but Slot's got to prove himself. It sounds daft. Slot's now got to prove himself as a team that can, as a manager that can rebuild his team, right? Yeah. Who else you've put there? So Arteta. Arsenal fans are going to be saying Arteta. Emery failed at the Emirates. Arteta. You put Arteta in that Aston Villa job. We're relegation candidates. Genuinely, and I do believe, and this is really going to annoy them. If Arsenal really supported Emery the same way Villa have done, and by that I mean they've literally given into the keys to the kingdom, right? Arsenal would have won the league.
I remember when he was there. Didn't they go like 21 games unbeaten when Emery was there?
He had a fantastic first season, and then he had a really bad 3 months in the second season. They sacked him.
Yeah,
but it was the timing for him, though, wasn't it? Because he was the first man, Josh. Was it
after Wenger? Yeah.
Yeah. So like you're always going to get. It's like the same.
But the fans hated Wenger anyway, so it's not as if like they loved. They were kind of
but it's
like.
But this is my point. He took over a team that were a really bad team, if we're really honest. Turned them into a decent team, and then Arsenal fans went, right, we're a great team again.
Still had Ozil and Sanchez in that team, didn't he?
Yeah, but Ozil and Sanchez are two of the players that I would consider up there as overrated in Premier League history.
Sanchez was
another manager. A manager I'd actually put in the if you were saying a top 4 of managers in the Premier League, Oliver Glasner.
Yeah. Good.
Yes.
I always sing his praises, and I'd even say so far, unless Arteta does what he could do this season, he's above him.
I think there's an argument to say that Emery could definitely be number 2 on that list.
Yeah,
I think there's a fair argument for that.
You've got to look at his history as well. It's not just Villa. Look at his European history. Look at what he did at Villarreal, PSG. Do you know what I mean?
Is Seville?
Sevilla
as well?
Seville, yeah.
3 Europa Leagues, yeah.
The fact of the matter is, Villa were very lucky to get him when we got him. He nearly went to Newcastle. He nearly went to Newcastle, and they went Eddie Howe instead, which has been a decent appointment. But he's the best manager of my lifetime at Villa.
Actually moving on to Eddie Howe, because obviously they did get the victory against Man City. Do you think that because we spoke about this a few weeks ago about Eddie Howe and can he still get the best out of this Newcastle side? Do you think that he's the manager that the right manager to taking them forward? Or do you think he's taking them as far as they can go?
I think he's taking them as far as they can go. And by the way, he's probably Newcastle's best, maybe ever. Certainly in the last 50, 60 years, I think he's their best manager. He's got.
Bobby Robson is
Kevin Keegan.
No, Eddie Howe all day long. He's got them into the Champions League twice.
Bobby Robson got them into the Champions League twice.
Yes, consistently challenging for the league.
He's won them a trophy. Kevin Keegan.
I'm not saying he's not up there.
Yeah, but so did Quante Ramos with Spurs.
No, but one day Ramos doesn't know what Howe does. He's got them into the Champions League twice. They played great football. Again, a bit like Emery at Newcastle. They were bottom 3 when he took over. But I actually think because he's done what Keegan and Robson did in terms of getting them into Europe. But I think he surpassed him because he's also won them a trophy.
I do agree, but I think if you were a cynic and if you were if you were a critic rather of Eddie Howe, you could say, well, he only achieved that because Newcastle became the richest club in the world when they got their new owners in whatever it was, a few years ago.
Do you know what
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that because you still have to go in and do a job.
Not in Premier League history. Maybe the last 10 years, but not.
And they've not been allowed because don't forget though, guys. They've not been allowed to spend that money like the normal.
Don't get me started. We ain't got enough time for this. My question would be regarding Eddie Howe. Right, if you say he's not the guy to take them forward, who is? Who out there walks into that job and takes Newcastle into a top title contender? I don't think there is anyone.
I think they've hit the peak, but I think sometimes you just need to freshen it up a little bit. And I think this is Eddie Howe's last season this year. I think he'll be gone at the end of the season.
I think he takes the England job though, right? So
I agree.
That's what he's been touted for ages now.
I think that if he leaves, it's because he's got the England job. He won't leave. I don't think he'll leave. He'll be either sacked. Or he'll leave to go England.
Because there'll be a vacancy. Tuchel will be gone after the summer regardless. So
I think that's what.
You think they'll still get Champions League football, though? That's the thing. Because obviously I think that might define it. Because obviously I think if he has a season where he doesn't get Champions League football again, because obviously Newcastle have been up and down when it comes to qualifying for the Champions League. If he gets it again, then obviously I think they'll keep him for another season or until the, as you said, England job. But if he doesn't get Champions League football, that might be the thing. Newcastle owners might go, "You've done a good job, you've done all we can, but we might sack you and get somebody else." But
are we all ready for Eddie Howe leaving for England and Newcastle appointing Ange Postecoglou? No, anyone else?
No. I think he needs to stay away from.
I think he's had it with the Premier League.
Go away.
The Premier League and him are gonna. He's had it.
You know, a league he should go to just because of his style of play would probably either be hilarious to see if it worked. Is he needs to go to Serie A and he needs to go to Italy. Try and see if he can play that kind of football against those Italian defenders that they play. And you know what happened? He'll go and win the league, wouldn't he? He'll go and win the Scudetto, wouldn't he?
No. Gattuso's going to headbutt him on the sideline, and that's it. It's over.
Exactly. I think one thing we'll finish off on, and is a group of 3 players, and we did speak about this a little bit last week in our England squad selection, and it's actually one player we didn't actually mention at all out of the strikers, and he scored a brace on the weekend. Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson was brilliant for West Ham on the weekend. Got 2 very good goals in a 2-2 draw for them. And another player, and we did mention this one, but I do want to sing his praise again, Danny Welbeck, once again on the score sheet.
I mean,
are we actually seeing the best version of Danny Welbeck we've ever seen in the Premier League?
No,
at this age.
You know what? We might be, but I'm just want to say this. If we're really saying Callum Wilson and Danny Welbeck are going to win us the World Cup, we all need to give our heads a wobble because that's we've hit new lows.
But Callum Wilson particularly, I mean, he's really good when he plays, but he's just constantly
he's injury prone.
He's so injury prone. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but Callum, he's 33 years of age. Let's not.
Oh no, I'm not saying by any stretch
years of
age.
No, I mean, Danny Welbeck is 34.
No.
He's not that close to bus pass.
I mean,
they shouldn't even have a sniff of the squad. I heard it on commentary. The weekend, and I heard the commentator say that he'd said it in a podcast, didn't he, Callum Wilson, that he still has hopes of going to the USA for the World Cup. So do I, Callum. But it's not happening.
No, it's not. It's not happening. Let's be honest. It's
the World Cup though. The season before, like a Euros or World Cup, if sort of 30-odd-year-old England players banging in a few goals, the question always crops up like, oh, do you reckon there might be a chance they can make it? It always happens.
I mean, if I'm one of those under 21 strikers that's playing for the young Lions, right, and I see Callum Wilson getting an England squad ahead of me, I'm questioning everything.
Everyone's freaking out. It's
not
like he's going to be starting a game. Like, I mean,
no, this is the thing. It's Harry Kane all the way, but it's who is that second striker?
It's Harry Kane, Ollie Watkins. I'd actually go Liam Delap third.
Why?
I think he's the future. I think he's the future.
But then is the future based on what? Based on what? A few goals at Ipswich. He's done nothing so far at Chelsea.
I think was it the top score? Was it if Welbeck keeps going with the way he is, and he's like the top England scorer in the Premier League, and you don't take him?
You can't take him.
What do you mean you can't take him?
No, I'm sorry.
I don't know. Right, I mean, there is an argument to be made if he ends up banging in like 30 goals this season.
No. So Spain, right? Hear me, right? Spain. Okay. Gerard Moreno bangs in 15 goals in La Liga. I don't even know if he's still playing, right? Say he does. Did I start him at the World Cup? There's no chance.
He gets a start.
Did he get in the squad? There's no chance. There's no chance.
If Danny Welbeck scores 30 goals this season, I think there's a chance he gets in the squad.
He just gives another interesting option off the bench. That's what I think. He just gives that kind of unique, like if things aren't going our way, we can just put some, you can maybe go a bit route rum old school and maybe have someone that can put it back in it.
If he gets Golden Boot, he's got tournament experience, they might go, you know what, just come on.
I mean, that's the most Sam Allardyce thing I've ever heard.
Hey, he got the big results.
Well, the thing that's always been levelled at previous England managers, particularly Roy Hodgson, is that he kept including players in his team that weren't in form. People like Jack Wilshere, people who weren't playing, So
Sam Allardyce is the best England manager of all time because he's got the most 100% win record. 1 win, 1 game, 1 win.
The thing is, I do get in the way what Carl means. It'll be like you're looking at this this squad, and it'll obviously read like Bellingham, all these star players, Palmer, Rodgers, Harry Kane, Welbeck. Who's Welbeck? It will be that player in it.
I get it, but you can't not by current form, he should be considered.
You can't ignore him.
He's having a good season, and what we're actually saying then is if Danny Welbeck bangs in 25 goals, Brighton win the league. Let's be fair, Brighton win the league if he does that, and then fair enough, he can start. If Danny Welbeck's scoring 25 goals in that Brighton team, they're going to win the league. So if we want to live in cuckoo land, we can live in cuckoo land. That's fine.
I would ask the obvious question. You got to chill out, man. Why are you freaking out over it? It's like he's not going to start. He's just another option.
It's a waste. It's a waste of a squad. It's a waste. It's a waste of a bit in the squad when someone like George at Chelsea, the youngster. I'd rather he goes in the squad and gets valuable tournament experience for his future than Danny Welbeck sits on the bench, enjoys it, sits as a suntan in the USA. Oh, look at me! I'm part of the World Cup team. Never plays, and then goes back to Brighton. What a waste of time!
I disagree with that. To be honest, I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, the problem. I think the problem we have it. I think the problem. I think it is the situation you're looking at it from a lens. Was it Tuchel's going to be there for nearly 3-4 years? He's not. He's only there for one tournament, and he's got to do everything he can to kind of win it. So
Tuchel might only, but I'm here. I'm here past this tournament. Everyone else.
Yeah, but you're not.
I think Tuchel. People would look at Tuchel if Danny Welbeck scores 25 goals this season and Brighton getting the top 4 or something. People will look at Tuchel and he'd be like, Well, I have to bring him, don't I? Surely I have to bring him. Like, I don't necessarily want
the
it, but
best
surely...
English striker we've got. I know it's like the age, but like,
I tell you what, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there, and let us know. Let us know your thoughts. Does Danny Welbeck make this England squad? Obviously, I know we spoke about it last week.
We've got to
get. But clearly, a very passionate Villa fan does not want him in that squad.
Well, for the record, I think Danny Welbeck's a great player.
He doesn't like Welbeck.
I think he's a great player.
Clearly not.
No, I do think he's a great player, and I'm loving the fact that he's having a renaissance. And if he was 23 years of age, I'd get the point. But he's 33, 34, I think.
What's wrong with people that 34?
Harry Kane was banging in World Cup goals in his 30s as well.
Are you really comparing Harry Kane and Danny Welbeck? Is that what we're doing?
I'm saying the age. Do you have to be 23 to score a goal in the World Cup? Like, is it like some sort of criteria? Like you cannot be older than 30.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if he actually, like you say this, you bring him and then he scores he comes off the bench and scores the win in the World Cup final.
No, it's a winning hat-trick off the bench.
Carl, after everything you said, you are not allowed to cheer if he scores that goal and he gets to the World Cup final.
Exactly.
No, it's like saying I'm going to go on a road trip around America and I'm going to take a car from the 70s that's got 60,000 miles, 100,000 miles on the clock, but it was a good car.
The best performing car of that year of all the
the 60s. I can't even.
Right, but anyway, let us know your thoughts, guys. We're going to leave it there. Now, straight after this, we are doing our best Premier League signings. So that will be going up later this week as well. But please let us know your thoughts on everything we spoke about today, and also send in some opinions. Let us know some things you want us to talk about. All right, but don't forget to like
opinions, just football opinions.
Yeah.
We can't take it back. We can't take it back.
Yeah.
We're very fragile.
Yes, you know.
Actually, you're right. Give us more opinions because I want to shoot people down. Send them in. Send them in. I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Send them in like that. Just loads of them.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. So it's bye from everyone. Take care. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.